She wears the ring, she calls herself happily married. She posts pictures of date nights, family dinners, anniversary captions, and yet the way she looks at you doesn't match the story she tells the world. It's not obvious she's careful, she doesn't flirt, she doesn't cross boundaries, but her presence, her energy, her silence, it lingers. There are moments. She pauses just a little too long in your conversations. Moments her eyes seem to search for something in your face. Moments she stands too close, then pulls away as if she realised it. A second too late, she laughs at things you didn't think were that funny. She brings up small details you shared weeks ago, things most people forget, and sometimes she lowers her voice when she speaks to you. Not because she's shy, but because something about your presence awakens a side of her. She doesn't feel anywhere else. She doesn't say it. Of course not, she can't. But if you're grounded enough, still enough, you can feel what she's trying not to show. It's the kind of emotional current that doesn't scream. It hums quietly beneath the surface. It's not sexual at first, it's not even verbal, it's psychological. She's drawn to something in you, the way you carry yourself, the way you observe her without reacting, the way your silence feels safer than her husband's attention. And here's the paradox. The more she tries to hide it, the more obvious it becomes to the man who knows how to see. Not the man who's thirsty for attention. Not the man who needs constant validation, but the stoic man, the one who holds his frame, who lives in stillness and who understands that most attraction isn't spoken, it's leaked. You see, when a married woman is interested emotionally, energetically, maybe even physically, she won't announce it, she can't afford to. So her desire slips out in fragments, in subtle signs. Only a rare few men can read in this video. I'll reveal the 6 subtle signs that a married woman may be silently drawn to you. Not because you're chasing her, not because you're trying to seduce her, but because your presence speaks to a part of her that's been asleep for a long time. And now, without even knowing why she's starting to wake up, let's begin. Welcome to Grandma's Minds, where we study silence, decode tension, and read female behaviour, not with thirst, but with stillness. Because here's a truth, most men will never hear from a woman's mouth. Sometimes she's married, but her eyes, her body, and her emotional frequency say otherwise, not loudly, not dramatically, but in whispers, in glances, in pauses, in moments that come and go like shadows, but stay with you far longer than they should. And if you've ever had that strange, confusing feeling that a married woman is responding to you differently, you're not crazy. You're just perceptive, because while her lips may speak commitment, her energy, her timing, and her behaviour may reveal a fracture in the foundation. Understand this, a married woman who is emotionally or physically drawn to another man will not be obvious. She has reasons to hide it. Family reputation, loyalty, fear, confusion, all of it swirls inside her like a storm. She's trying to keep contained so she doesn't confess. She doesn't flirt openly, she doesn't act available, but her subtle actions, her leaks begin to form a pattern. You'll notice her finding reasons to stay in conversations longer than necessary. You'll catch her watching you from across the room. Eyes locked just a second too long. You'll sense the way she relaxes into her femininity when you're around, as if something in her finally feels seen. She may even talk about her husband, but not with pride, with distance, almost like she's trying to convince herself more than she's trying to convince you. And that's when most men get confused. Is she being nice? Am I imagining this real, or just my ego looking for signs? But here at Grandma's Minds, we train you to read behaviour with precision, not to act on every signal, not to chase, but to see, to notice, to observe what's underneath the surface of what she says. Because when a woman is emotionally awakened by your presence, even if she's committed to someone else, she starts behaving in ways she herself can't explain. She becomes warmer, more responsive, more attuned to your rhythm, and whether or not she ever admits it, you feel it. And that's the paradox. The more she tries to hide her desire, the more clearly you can see it. This video will reveal the 6 most subtle yet deeply revealing signs a married woman may be interested in you, even if she's doing everything she can to keep it hidden. These signs are quiet, they're psychological, and they're dangerous, not because of what they ask you to do, but because of what they make you feel. And once you learn how to read them, you'll never again be blind to the truth. A woman is too afraid to speak. Let's begin one. Her eye contact holds emotional weight, then vanishes like smoke. She doesn't look at you the way she looks at everyone else. There's a hesitation behind her glance, a moment where time seems to slow down. Just for a second, when your eyes meet, you feel the weight of her attention, the presence of her unspoken thoughts. And then she looks away quickly, too quickly. Not because she's not interested, but because she is, and she doesn't want you to see it. This kind of eye contact is not flirty or playful, it's conflicted, vulnerable, and heavy with what she's trying not to admit. A married woman who feels something for another man often expresses it first through her gaze, because her eyes speak long before she allows her lips to, and when you catch her looking, and she pretends she wasn't. That's not a coincidence. That's emotional projection followed by emotional retreat. 2. She creates accidental, physical proximity that always feels intentional. She stands close, sits beside you, walks next to you. Even when there's plenty of space elsewhere, she doesn't reach out and touch you. That would be too obvious, too risky. Instead, she gets just close enough for you to feel her presence, for your awareness of her body to be activated while maintaining a surface of innocence. You might pass in a hallway and she doesn't move away. You're in a group and somehow she's always to your right. You're both working on something and she leans in a bit more than necessary. This is not logistics, this is attraction, looking for an excuse to exist. Proximity is her way of satisfying a craving. She hasn't given herself permission to fully feel, and when you stay grounded and still in those moments, you'll feel the magnetic current between you. It's quiet, but undeniable. 3, she mirrors you in subtle, almost spiritual ways. She starts using phrases you use, adopts your rhythm of speech, matches your posture without realizing it. When you fold your arms, she does too, when you lean back. She mirrors when you pause to think. So does she. This isn't mimicry. This is psychological alignment. When a woman is emotionally pulled toward a man, even one she knows she shouldn't be, her subconscious begins to sync with his frequency. And the more she mirrors you, the more emotionally bonded she already feels. She won't know she's doing it, but you will, because it will feel like you're slowly becoming the gravity she orbits around for. She shares details about her relationship, but never the happy parts. She casually mentions her husband, but it's not admiration, it's distance. A sigh, a passive-aggressive comment. She says things like, "Marriage is hard, he's always busy lately. We don't really talk like we used to." She doesn't dump her problems on you, that would be too forward. But she sprinkles emotional breadcrumbs testing if you'll follow why. Because the moment she opens up about her disconnection at home, she's inviting emotional closeness with you. Not directly, but energetically. It's her way of saying, I'm loyal in name. But emotionally, I'm slowly disconnecting and you're the one I'm opening toward. And that's not small talk. That's a subconscious signal for replacement intimacy. 5. Her body language speaks a language. She doesn't realize you understand. She straightens up when you enter the room. She smooths her clothes, touches her neck, adjusts her jewelry. These are all pining behaviors, the unconscious grooming signals women display when they want to look their best for someone they're drawn to. She's not doing it for her husband, she's not doing it for the crowd. She's doing it when you're near. That's the tell. It's fast, it's subtle, it's reflexive. And if she's fidgeting more when you're around, shifting her weight, tilting her head, exposing her neck, these are biological markers of attraction. she doesn't consciously approve of, but can't stop from leaking. Watch her body not for seduction, but for contradiction. Because when her body says yes while her words say nothing, that's the truth trying to escape six. She looks for emotional micro-moments, then holds on to them just a bit too long. You say something thoughtful, and she lights up. You make eye contact and she lingers. You walk away from a conversation, and she turns to look back at you. It's always small, always deniable, but always present. These are the emotional micro-moments that women hold on to when they're secretly drawn to a man, especially one they're not supposed to want. She may initiate these moments, she may not, but she always extends them because these moments are her only way to feel something. Without crossing a line, a married woman who's interested in you will find creative ways to hold space for you. Not physically, but emotionally, and the more emotionally available she becomes toward you, the more you'll feel her energy wrapping around yours quietly, carefully but intentionally, because desire in its purest form doesn't scream. It whispers, it lingers, it refuses to leave. And when a married woman is interested but keeps it hidden, those whispers are all you need to hear. You've seen the signs now, not the obvious ones, not the flirtatious in your face kind, but the quiet ones, the signals buried in subtle timing, delicate glances and emotional hesitation. Because when a married woman is drawn to you, she won't say it, she can't say it. So instead, her behaviour whispers what her words will never allow. And most men, they miss it, they rush, they fantasize, they project, or worse, they act impulsively, chasing what was only meant to be noticed. Not taken, but not you. If you're still here, you're not just another man looking for female attention. You're a man of awareness, a man of presence, a man who knows that true power is not about acting on every signal. It's about understanding it, because the stoic man doesn't need her to confess. He doesn't need the validation. He already knows. He sees what others don't. He feels what others overlook. And he holds frame so powerfully that even married women, women who swore they were unavailable, start to question why they feel different when he's near. That's not game, that's gravity, that's the grandma's minds. So if this resonated with you, if you've ever felt this tension in real life and weren't sure if it was real, subscribe to Grandma's Minds, because we're not here to chase women. We're here to study behaviour, master masculine energy, and lead with silence instead of need. Like this video, if you now recognise that moment when her eyes stayed too long, that conversation that ended too slow, that emotional shift. She hoped you didn't notice, but you did comment below. Have you ever had a married woman show subtle signs of interest? What did you do? Did you walk away? Did you lean in? Let's hear your story. Your calm reflection might help another man. And remember, not every signal is a green light. Sometimes awareness is the response, because the strongest man in the room is the one who knows when not to move. And that power, that restraint, that's the very thing she'll remember long after the moment has passed. This is Grandma's Minds, where we don't react. We read where the game doesn't exist, because we've already mastered the silence it was hiding behind until next time. Stay calm, stay grounded, and when she tries to hide her attraction behind polite smiles and small talk, you'll already know.